Hello, today I'm going to present a research proposal entitled A Curated Social Media Presence to Positively Impact Impression Management in the Hiring Process. I appreciate your peer review of this presentation. Quite often it is Will Rogers who's attributed with having said, "You never get a second chance to make a first impression." But regardless of who said it first, research bears out the truth of this claim. According to Solomon Asch, all it takes to begin to form an initial impression is a glance or a short conversation. Later encounters can either support or contrast those initial impressions, but it's impossible to get away from an encounter without making an initial impression. The human brain's efficiency extends to social thinking, some of which occurs at a preconscious level. Social science research has supported a dual mode of cognitive social processes made up of related systems, one that is rapid and automatic and one that is slower and more deliberate. One finds a seamless application of this dual mode of cognitive processing as it relates to initial impressions formed when one person encounters another. When encountering an unfamiliar person, it's of great benefit to discern if they are friend or foe, and if they are foe, what one's response needs to be for their own survival. When we seek to convince another person that we are a friend rather than a foe, seldom is a good impression more vital than when we're seeking a new job opportunity. Job applicants often have a short time to make a good impression on a potential employer. Cortez et al. State that while longer encounters assist good impressions, job applicants often don't get that opportunity. Many factors contribute to impression formation. Even the color of clothing that a person is wearing can have an impact on those initial impressions. However, current hiring processes have begun using applicants' social media accounts to form initial impressions, with over 70% of hiring managers utilizing a social media screen before the initial face-to-face interview. 57% of hirers have declined to move forward with a candidate based on social media postings. To date, there's little research on whether an applicant's curated social media presence could positively impact the initial impressions of a hiring manager. The current study seeks to add to the literature on the relationship between social media presence and impression formation within the hiring process. While research has explored the impact that one's social media can have on the hiring process, there is not sufficient evidence in the literature that addresses the impact that a curated social media presence can have on impression formation in the hiring process. Can a carefully curated social media presence positively impact the impression a hiring manager will form of a job applicant and lead to a more favorable outcome for the applicant? Meaning, did they get the job? For this research, the independent variable is the applicant's curated social media presence based on their top 5 personal values. The dependent variable is the rating each applicant will receive from hiring managers following the face-to-face interview. That tool of measure is yet to be determined. Regarding the research hypothesis, for hiring managers who use applicants' social media accounts to form initial impressions, applicants with a curated social media presence will make more favorable impressions with hiring managers than applicants who do not curate their social media presence. When looking at ways to build a biblical foundation for this study, the Holy Scriptures give some instruction as to the manner that Christians are to present themselves to God and to others. Christians are to present themselves as approved, unashamed, and rightly handling what is true. Further, in his first letter to Timothy, the Apostle Paul encourages him to avoid irreverent conversation that leads to ungodliness. As Christians, we must consider the approach we take when presenting ourselves to others, so that we can do so in such a way as to bring glory to our Father in heaven. Thank you for following along through this presentation, and I look forward to the feedback you'll provide.